speaking of Israel, as we were, and speaking of crimes ignored by the government, to end the show today, some really good news. And this was shared by James Corbett's and The New World Next Week with James Corbett and James Evan Pilato today that I saw. And it's very, very good news. New York area fire commissioners make history. Call for new 9/11 investigation, whereas the overwhelming evidence, and it goes into, that's the title, but it goes into what they're saying, and I'll read it in just a moment. But the Franklin Square and Munson Fire District 9/11 resolution. Very, very, very good news here. And it's important to recognize this is coming from a New York fire commissioner, or fire commission, the Franklin Square and Munson Fire District from New York. That is powerful, as these people are the same people they pretend they're fighting for in regard to the firemen and policemen when they sell the lies about 9/11. And these people are coming up and saying, no, those are lies. And they're putting forth a resolution about it. Now, on July 24th, 2019, nearly 18 years after the horrific attacks that traumatized a nation and changed the world forever, it reads that the Franklin Square and Munson Fire District, which oversees a volunteer fire department serving a hamlet of 30,000 residents just outside of Queens, of New York, became the first legislative body in the country to officially support a new investigation into the events of 9/11. I mean, think about that. And the fact that these are firemen, it really has to show you how different people think about this than what the mainstream media tries to sell you, including the firemen, the policemen. And I mean, the vast majority of this country does not believe the official story. And it links to architects and engineers for 9/11 Truth. New York fire area commissioners make history, call for 9/11 investigation. Now it says, quote, "We're a tight-knit community and we never forget our fallen brothers and sisters. You better believe that when the entire fire service of New York State is on board, we will be an unstoppable force." Commissioner Christopher Goya. And it says, after a pause, Goya added, "We were the first fire district to pass this resolution. We won't be the last." Because you understand what the point they're making is that the firemen, the policemen, and this website, the architects and the engineers, they all recognize that they've been lied to. Now you can see it's the Franklin Square and Munson Fire District, and we should be paying attention to this because this may get squashed like so many others, but it's drawing attention to the fact that we are all in, and understand again, to finish with this is a conspiracy theory. In fact, the exact kind of conspiracy theory that the people in FBI and YouTube want you to believe is dangerous, right? The idea of specifically about historical events that counter the official narrative, like 9/11. They even listed it on the YouTube text in their terms of service. Flat Earth and 9/11. And here we have the people that were there saying that they're being lied to, that you're being lied to, but they're a conspiracy theorist and they would be censored off YouTube right now for doing just that. Really let that sink in. Now, as it reads in the resolution, whereas the overwhelming evidence presented in said petition demonstrates beyond any doubt that pre-planted explosives and or incendiaries, not just airplanes and ensuing fires, caused the destruction of the 3 World Trade Center buildings, killing the vast majority of the victims who perished that day. Clearly pointing out that there is explosives that were planted, which has been introduced already in a court. This is real information, by the way. This has been proven. In that same light, then ask yourself why in the world this has not been discussed on mainstream media. Which obviously we know why. But something as huge as that's been proven, didn't even get touched by the mainstream media. And it finishes by saying, now therefore be it resolved that the Board of Fire Commissioners of the Franklin Square of Munson Fire District fully supports a comprehensive federal grand jury investigation and prosecution of every crime related to the attacks of September 11th, 2001, as well as any and all efforts by other government entities to investigate and uncover the full truth surrounding the events of that horrible day. That's a big deal. Something so big that they're actually passing writing memorandums and enforcing new laws and rewriting their terms of service in order to stop you from being able to talk about this idea. That's true. That's been proven. That's being talked about by the people that were there. But they're marginalizing these people's views. Their heroes of September 11th don't exist anymore because they believe something that goes against the mainstream narrative. We should be concerned today. This is probably one of the most alarming days of news that I've seen in a long time. Not just bad and horrible and atrocious people dying, but alarming. Something we should really take in and reflect on how we're going forward as a country and what we really believe this country and the principles of this country. Not just that we are scared of something so government help us, but that we need to actually have principles that we don't allow to be changed because they manufacture some scare tactic. It's time that we have some constitution here, personally, and stand for what we believe in.
I remember getting a call from the fire department commander telling me that they were not sure they were going to be able to contain the fire. And I said, we've had such terrible loss of life. Maybe the smartest thing to do is pull it.
Maybe the smartest thing to do is pull it.
Maybe the smartest thing to do is pull it. And they made that decision to pull, and then we watched the building collapse.